Previously on balls.co.za.
Out on Balls Visual Radio this afternoon, Dougie Ryder is with us. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at DougRYD. Is that it? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you get the full name in there? Someone else got that?
No, I don't know, actually. It just happened a few years ago.
So, MTN Qhubeka, Team MTN Qhubeka. You're supposed to have a click there. Mm-hmm. Qhubeka. Going to La Vuelta now, just in case people not maybe very familiar with cycling, but the Vuelta would probably be your third biggest cycle tour in the world, right?
Absolutely. So there's 3 grand tours in world cycling, ranked from Tour de France to Giro d'Italia, and then obviously the Vuelta. So
yeah. And the nice thing I think about the Vuelta, and if I remember, guys like Miguel Indurain won it so many times, but this is one where you do find guys doing the Vuelta and also the Tour de France because the gap's big enough between them.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there's only 3 3-week stage races, so it's a tough event, of course. But I mean, yeah, have been riders that have gone Tour de France, Vuelta. So Contador will do it again this year. So he'll do Tour de France and then do the Vuelta, and then it's the World Championships after that. So it's good preparation for that.
Why do they have the Giro when they do then? That's what I can't understand, because the Giro, obviously some guys, I mean, what percentage of guys do the Giro and the Tour de France?
So there's, I mean, Cadel Evans did it the 1 year, and but a lot of the guys, the Giro has actually become really, really tough, and it's in May, so it's literally next month, and then there's not much time between the two, but there's been a lot of riders that have done Giro and Tour, but if you do the Giro and you want to do it well, you're not going to ride a good Tour de France. That's kind of been...
Why don't they move it? Because, I mean, it's like having the majors, having a tennis Grand Slam literally a week later than the previous one. I mean...
Yeah. So the season is built around, like now we're racing the Spring Classic. So we're racing Tour of Flanders this weekend, which is in the heart of cycling in Flanders. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people.
Very pretty race.
Yeah, it's a massive race. So you got the Spring Classics and the Ardennes Classics in the first part of the year till mid-May, and then after that the Giro, then the Tour, then the Vuelta, then the big stage races. So you kind of can't put it in any earlier or any later because the season ends after the World Championships in September. So I guess it's a calendar thing.
All right. This MTN team, MTN Qhubeka, since it was launched, sometimes people do launch them the idea, and you have the ideas and stuff like where you want it to go. But this is one of those stories where it is actually going where everyone envisaged it should go.
Yeah, and we wanted to develop an African world champion. And MTN bought into this thing many years ago, and in the last 2 years we've developed a team that is racing full-time internationally, and now we've got into a Grand Tour. Last year, we actually said to the Giro d'Italia, Tour de France, so the organizers, RCS Sport and ASO, that we didn't want to ride a Grand Tour in our first year because we wanted to show that we are consistent and our riders are strong enough to be able to do that. Because 70% of our team is from the African continent, which is unique in world cycling. There isn't a team like that in the world, and there's never been so many riders in the World Tour that are from Africa. So then the second year we definitely wanted to ride a Grand Tour, and we were hoping to do the Giro d'Italia after our success in Italy, winning the Milan-San Remo last year, and we didn't get into the Giro, unfortunately. So, and then the Tour didn't want to put us in as in the first year or the first Grand Tour that we do, and so then we got into the Vuelta, which is huge for us because we were getting pretty nervous, but it's a massive event for team.
From a team point of view, obviously we've spoken about individuals and maybe not doing all 3, but from a team point of view, obviously teams do enter all 3, but you've obviously got to have different riders that they get involved. So is the aim next year then to possibly be part of all 3? And do you think your chances would be good if it is?
Well, so in cycling, there's the World Tour teams, so the Division 1 teams, of which there's 18. We're not one of those. They have to do all 3. So they're guaranteed entry into all 3. Then there's the Division 2 teams. There's 17 of us at the moment, 17 teams in the Division 2, and then we have to wait for wild cards. So you can't just say, okay, we want to do all 3. Even if we had the depth or the riders, we have to wait for wild card entries to get into all 3. So we've always got to rely last minute, is our team good enough? Is our story exciting enough? Do we bring the whole of Africa behind our team?
But you'd be the only African team.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's the story in itself.
Well, I mean, we were hoping this year that would be enough to get us into the Giro. We have our team based in Lucca in Tuscany, so and we have an Italian rider. We have it's a beautiful environment where we're staying.
What are we doing here? These guys get to cycle around. They're based in Tuscany.
I know. We're in the wrong game.
We're in the wrong game. All these guys are at these exotic places.
No, so it's beautiful there. And I mean...
Do you spend a lot of time there?
I was there till Friday, so I was there for 3 weeks. But I have spent a lot of time there. I mean, I literally spend
Do you have a house there?
5 months there. No, I stay in an apartment. We have got like 15 apartments that our riders stay in. So,
And why there? Why Tuscany?
so Tuscany is beautiful. It's really good training.
And good conditions. There's lots of hills and stuff. So
So the conditions are perfect. It's about 300 kilometers south from kind of Central Europe, which is quite far. But I mean, so we travel a little bit more. But Central Europe, the weather is usually pretty bad most of the year, whereas in Tuscany and where we are, it's actually really good. So it's 10 degrees warmer and the sun shines a lot more. And so for our African and South African riders, it's the conditions are better for training because they live 7 months of the year there now. So. So anyway, it's a nice environment for them to train and race.
just tell us who the African guys are that you've got in your team. You say 70% is from Africa. What is that? Is that the sort of standard that you guys want to maintain, 70%, or do you want it to be 100% eventually?
Well, ideally, if the level is high enough, we would want to be 100% going forwards. But, the European riders are the ones that are helping mentor and fast track our riders to success. So I don't think we'll ever be 100%. We actually, when we started the team, we said if we could have 50% from Africa and 50% European, that would be a good target to aim for as an African team. But we started with 70% and we've continued like that. A lot of race organizers have said we lack depth and consistency because the riders need to get to a high level and they need to race and live in Europe for that. So we're not on a 10-year plan. We wanted to do this as, show the talent from Africa and do it as quick as we could. So we have 18 riders from Africa and South Africa, 9 of which are from South Africa, and then the rest are from Eritrea, Algeria, Ethiopia, Rwanda. So we've kind of picked the best talent across Africa.
And is there still a chance that in somewhere in the future, Chris Froome might bail from the Sky team and come and race for Africa?
Kenyan, and
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Your Swahili or Maasai.
Well,
cyclist.
I'm hoping that Chris. We'd love Chris and even Daryl Impey to come to us.
Of course, yes. There's Daryl as well, but he's with another team.
He's with Orica Greenheads.
That's right. Yeah.
So we'd love Daryl to come. I mean, Daryl's in the world tour, so he's guaranteed entry into all the biggest races in the world, and he's now got to a point where he's in the top 5 looked after riders in that team. So. Which is interesting, but I mean he's done incredibly well, and we'd love to bring him also into the team into the future. But Chris is a rock star at the moment. So
big bucks.
Yeah, Chris. I think Chris's salary on Sky is our whole.
Not bad for Oakham to St John's.
Yeah, no, he's done well. I mean, pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
What's his salary, Dougie?
Johnny, you don't ask people what their salaries are.
Not yours, Dougie.
Yeah, I'm here, so mine's not much.
What is it, Dougie?
No, look, Chris is. I mean, I believe it's as much as our team budget.
It's serious,
That's all that I can say. I mean, he's he's the number 1 rider in the world in terms of, if you want to get if you want to get in, if you want to try and win the Tour de France, which has a telephone numbers in terms of media exposure, and he's up there. So I mean, it would be great if we could get him. So any corporates out there that want to throw millions of euros at us and partner with MTN, happy to do that.
Well, MTN can I'm sure they can afford it.
No, MTN has been a great sponsor. They've really helped us a lot this
What
year.
does it take? How much does it take to maintain a team like MTN Qhubeka?
So if you're looking at the World Tour teams, for Division 1 teams range from 10 million euros to 22 million euros a year.
Yay.
So we significantly less than that, but the Pro Continental teams range from 4 to 10 million euros a year.
22 million euros.
Well, even the 10 million euros, I mean, that is on exchange rate. And look, MTN's an international company, so, they deal in dollars and stuff like that around the world. So it's not like they're multiplying by whatever it is now, 15, when they look at it going, geez, like.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot of money.
And I mean, it goes to the riders, it goes to salary. We have 60 people employed on our team, 25 riders, 35 staff.
Too many overheads, Doug. You've got to cut back. I think.
Cut.
Start retrenching tomorrow. Who can we phone that you can say we're retrenching you?
Let's do it.
Let's phone someone and say you're retrenching them. Costs are too high, overheads, we're retrenching you.
Oh, that would be interesting. That's a discussion that we're not going to have. No, we're a really lean ship, but it's a fantastic team, and it's been a journey.
You guys are a great South African sporting success story. And I was wondering, were you guys up for any of the awards at the Sports Industry Awards? I think you were. I did see you guys.
So
a
we
couple
were
of times.
last year.
Yeah.
We won the award for the sports team that does good for communities because of our Qhubeka relationship and putting bikes onto giving bikes to kids. So we were last year, but they took that category out this year. And but yeah, next year we'll definitely enter for best sports team of the year. So we'll do that.
And what does Qhubeka mean?
Means it's a Zulu Nguni word. It means to move forward, to carry on, to progress. So it's all around mobility, and it's a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And you actually are just thinking about it now. You were born to be in cycling. I mean, your surname is Ryder. It's like that tennis player smashing over. I mean, you're only going to do one sport. That's it.
yeah.
I mean, so it's totally appropriate that you're in cycling.
So you should be in mountaineering then.
A hill?
Simon Hill.
No, it's not the same.
And I could
Okay.
have called you over the hill.
Well, I mean, the Oak invented the toilet. You know what his name was?
Crapper.
Thomas Crapper.
Crapper. Yeah.
Seriously.
See.
Well,
So Thomas Crapper.
I was either going to be in cycling or on the cover of every single condom. So I'd rather stay with cycling. Thanks.
What was your nickname, Ruff? Believe me, if you played some other sports, you would have been. If you're in Aussie now, they would have been Bald Ruff.
Rough Rider.
Anyway, there's another story there, but I won't be.
No, well, let's not get into that. Well, listen, it's we wish you all the best and keep us updated on what's happening with the team when you guys are out there at the Vuelta as well. Let's stay in touch with you guys, have a chat to you. We try, especially with guys like Robbie and Daryl, and even Chris. When the big tours are on, I like to keep people informed about it. That's what we're about. So we'd love to stay in touch.
And Dougie's team involved on Tuesday again, eh?
Yeah, so we're here for the Mzansi tour. So yeah, I recommend.
When does that start? Tuesday
Tuesday,
already?
yes.
Jeez, it's upon us.
So
Wow.
anybody that wants to see Louis Mankey's the SA champion, who was second at the World Championships last year for South Africa in under 23 road race. So yeah, come and support the team and the Mzansi tour. It's a great South African event, and
very good.
We
Yeah.
are here, and we're looking forward to that to that event. So.
Glad that's also growing as well, and it's also nice that they are taking it to different regions, and as I was saying to Malcolm when we spoke to him a few weeks ago, saying when you travel, as we've just done the last 3 weeks around this country, you see the different kinds of beautiful spots and just the terrain that would so be perfect for cycling.
Yeah, I mean
To have one of those longer tours, if it was ever allowed to go to 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Guys would love to come and do that, yeah.
Well, I think I guess the idea for the Mzansi tour is that we get all the biggest pro teams in the world to come here, and why not? I mean, there's no time difference now. It's European summertime, it's the same time zone as us, so it's just an overnight flight. There's no jet lag. The riders can really train nicely here, and so I mean, there's the Tour Down Under in Australia at the beginning of the year. So why not come here?
Yeah, who wants to go there?
They've got huge jet lag when the riders go there, which really affects them, and they've got to spend at least a month there to acclimatise, etc. They could come here and race this event. So let's hope one day that they can raise enough money to lift the profile of the event, and it'll get more support. But we do need an event like that in South Africa and bring the world's best here.
Who's going to win the Tour de France this year?
So look, Chris is looking. He had
What's happened to Wiggins?
So Bradley Wiggins, we raced Terrain Adriatico a week ago, and he was there, and
Is he okay? Is he back
pulled
again?
out of the race. So he's kind of like in the middle of nowhere and doesn't know where to
What's happened
put
to him?
himself. I think the pressure of winning the Tour de France, being the first British, getting knighted, all the media and all the exposure and
The
all the time,
sideburns.
the sideburns are gone now.
Yeah.
So he's no longer, looking like a distant rocker. But
Oh,
The
there's your problem.
1981
There's
new
your problem,
romantic artist, yeah.
I mean, those were his thing, man.
Yeah. He's
So
had
Sam-
a-
It's like Samson.
So he took his lamb chops off, so then I think he might have lost his power.
Yeah.
They want him to ride the Tour de France, so him and Chris have patched their differences up, I believe. And so they want him to ride the Tour because it does start in the UK this year, the Tour de France. So they want him there, and they want the last two champions there of the race. So, but Chris has had a back injury, so we'll have to see. He hasn't had the start that he had last year, but he's really focused and professional, and it'll be. I think Chris is going to be good, but Contador is unbelievable at the moment. In fact, in Lucca, his coach lives in Lucca. In fact, he lives opposite where our team is based. So I talk to his team coach all the time, and Contador is looking really good
He's
at
ready.
the moment. So, and he's got a super strong team. So we'll have to see. It'll be an exciting tour.
Last year was the South African tour. seriously was. With Daryl winning, having the yellow jersey, and Chris Froome winning the Tour as well. It was certainly a South African Tour. Do you expect Daryl to win some more stages again this year?
I hope so. I really hope so. I really do hope so. His team is incredibly good, and he's riding so well. So I think hopefully they give him the leash to loosen the leash so he can go and race for himself.
Dougie, thanks for popping in, bud.
Thank you
Please
very
don't
much.
forget to sign our wall.
Balls.co.za